What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast. There are no UFC events this weekend, so we're putting out this video ahead of the last pay-per-view card of the year, UFC 310, headlined by Alexandre Pantoja and the UFC debut of Asakura, and the co-main event, which is between, in my opinion, the two best welterweights in the entire world, Ian Machado-Garry and Shavkhat Rakhmonov. In this episode of Over the Octagon, we're going to dissect the entire card. We're going to go through all the prelims, the main card, all the fights, talk about it, make our picks, give you our opinions, see which matchups we like, we don't like, the names of the cards, and we're really going to talk about this kind of janky bout order. It's a weird one. There's some fights on the main card that are over, some fights on the prelims that are a little bit questionable. We're going to get into all that right here, man. If you're not already, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel on the YouTube. Please hit the thumbs up and like the damn video, man. Like the damn video. Share it with your friends. Send it to your mommy, your girlfriend, your wives, your fiance, your aunties, whoever. Send it to everybody. Let them know this is the #1 podcast in MMA game, baby. Let's get it going. Already, if you're not, follow us on all our social medias. Link is in the description. Let you know when future episodes are coming out. If you're listening to this podcast on audio-only formats on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts, don't forget to turn on automatic download and rate the show 5 stars. All right, baby, let's get into it. See you on the next one. Peace.
Blood is on the steeple. There's murder on my mind. Guiding all the people to a pretty suicide. I want to live forever. Yeah. Live forever. Yeah. I'm hiding from the sun. I can't fucking wait. I don't want to spend my life with you. I don't want to do the things you do. I just want to castle in the darkness and never lose my youth. Never lose my youth. Strange things are coming. At night I feel alive. There's no sense in running. We're living just to die.
This is Over the Octagon. Welcome to the shit show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast, a week ahead of UFC 310 between Alexandre Pantoja and Kai Asakura, Shavkhat Rakhmonov, Ian Machado-Garry, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov. I feel weird even reading out the rest of this main card. So let's start with that, because I feel like there's a lot of really. First off, this card is stacked. Can we say that? Can we agree?
Yeah. Like, I feel like they almost tried to like stack it like they kind of did 300. I thought about this today. Like, I get the names on 300 were like kind of like huge, you know,
Yeah.
but so are they are the same kind of way on 310. I mean, there's pretty fucking big names
For
on
sure.
310. There, I mean, but even if you look back at 300, who was the main event at 300? It was
Alex
Pereira and Hill, right?
Yuri.
Yuri. So like, even that is like, if you would think like, oh, that was the biggest card of the year.
No, I'm sorry. It was Jamal Hill.
It was Jamal Hill, right?
Yeah, it was Jamal Hill. My bad.
Like, but that's like, it's not like a, technically crazy main event, It was just stacked from the bottom to the top. So it made it like a really, really fucking good card. It's kind of the same scenario here, just with Pantoja and Kai Asakura.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pantoja just doesn't have Pereira, like a Pereira following,
Maybe that is why it is so stacked, because they kind of knew that the main event. The main event initially was supposed to be Shavkhat and Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, which, ugh.
Right. I mean,
I don't think so. No, I think that was the co-main to begin it anyways. Pantoja, I think, was always the main event.
Okay, well, either way.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're
Yeah.
right. I don't know, but I think you might be right actually.
Either way. So it's very strange. So maybe granted that you had 2 title fights and 2 champions that, like, I love Pantoja.
I do too.
I feel like flyweight doesn't get the credit really that it deserves.
No, it doesn't.
Because I think some flyweight fights are the most exciting fights the UFC has.
Hell
But I
yeah.
understand why, they're smaller guys. Maybe it's not the most popular, but
Yeah.
Pantoja, and then you had Bilal Muhammad. So maybe you felt like with those 2 champions headlining a card that you
had to
kind of
stack
had to stack the card a little bit more. And then Bilal Muhammad pulls out. I'm glad Bilal Muhammad pulled out because I think Shavkhat Garry is a way more interesting fight.
Way more.
I don't know how I feel about that. We'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about this. We'll finish kind of talking about the bout order first because so you have Pantoja, Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura obviously making his UFC debut right into a flyweight title fight against Pantoja. Your co-main event is a consensus number 1 contender fight for the welterweight title between Shavkhat Rakhmonov and Ian Machado-Garry. The winner most certainly fights Bilal Muhammad for a belt
Without a doubt.
whenever he fixes his infected toe or whatever he's got going on over there. Cyril Gane Volkov, you could argue that
Consensus
is
number 1.
You could. I mean,
Yeah.
assuming that Tom Aspinall is next, right, to fight John Jones, you would assume that these guys are right there. Obviously, John Jones beat Cyril Gane to win the heavyweight belt. Volkov has had kind of an up and down career, but has really turned it on as of late. And it's been surging a little bit. So I mean, so I like that fight. Then it gets weird. Like this is where the bout order gets weird. So then you have number 13 ranked Bryce Mitchell against unranked Kron Gracie. Bryce Mitchell, I don't think has fought since he got knocked out by Josh Emmett.
Yeah, I don't think he's recovered from CTE.
Yeah, that was one of the most vicious knockouts that I think's ever been in the UFC. It was
one of them for sure.
It was really bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And then Kron Gracie just sucks,
dude. Remember the Kron Gracie's last fight, dude? All he did was butt scoot around the whole fucking octagon for the whole fight.
Yeah,
that's all he did.
Yeah, he lost to Jourdain. I don't know, man. He lost to Cub Swanson. I don't.
Dumb fight, dude.
Yeah, I don't see how they put this on the main card, over a Movsar Evilov versus Aljamain Sterling. Or for that, even over honestly, I know both these guys are unranked, but a more entertaining fight to me is Randy Brown versus Brian Battle.
Hell yeah.
That's a fucking scrap.
Both of them are unranked.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Welterweight, man. I think they're kind of on the cusp, but
that's crazy that both of those guys are not even like top 15. That's
well,
insane.
even let me put it to you like this too. So in the early prelims, you have the number 14 ranked flyweight Cody Durden versus Joshua Van.
Yeah.
I mean, you mean to tell me that Bryce Mitchell, Kron Gracie, or Nate Landwehr, Nate the Train versus Doo-Ho Choi? I mean, Doo-Ho Choi and Nate Landwehr are opening up the main event at or the main card for UFC 310.
Yeah, there's got to be something wrong with this. Like either Dana's fucking with us.
It's a mistake. It's got to be a mistake.
I feel like we're gonna find out like sometime late this week, like bout change to 310.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Even
the 4th spot.
There's like Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin, really interesting fight to me. Lightweight, even on the early prelims, Clay Guida and Chase Hooper.
That should open up the main card,
dude. Right?
That fight should open up the main card. If you
that's
want
not a bad
guys to open up the main card, that's the one.
Yeah, I agree.
You got a Clay Guida, veteran of the UFC, and then you got a young buck, Chase Hooper, against him. Like, open the main card.
I still think it should be Randy Brown, Brian Battle, Movsar Aljo, and then go into Ciryl Volkov, Shavkhat, Gary, Pantoja, Asakura. I think Randy Brown, Brian Battle opening up the main card, and then Movsar versus Aljo. Like, Movsar versus Aljo being on the prelims is crazy.
And not
dude.
even being that feature prelim. It's
Dude,
wild.
that's crazy work by Dana White, dude. I don't know if he just hates both of them that much.
I don't think that's Dana White, dude. I think that's matchmaking and the other guys. What's his
Maybe.
name? The guy
Hunter Campbell?
Hunter Campbell that does the matchmaking.
I just feel like, dude, they hate both of these guys so much.
I think they just hate Russians, dude.
Well, so I mean,
like Movsar.
I guess the thought could be that this could be a really boring fight.
Very.
Right? It has potential to be a really boring fight. So you don't put it on the main card solely because you expect it to be a really boring fight. Is that the reason? It's got to be. I can't think of any other reason that justifies Movsar and Aljo being on the prelims and Doo-Ho Choi and Kron Gracie are on the main card, dude. It's crazy.
Wild.
It's crazy. Anyway, that's the bout order. It's a wild bout order. Luckily, we're back to normal time. Obviously, this past weekend or last weekend, we had McCall or in China. UFC was in China. The prelim started at 3:00 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 a.m.
One of the best cards of the year, in my opinion.
Fight night was great. Absolutely.
That shit was awesome.
But so we're back to a, standard start time. Your prelims, your early prelims start at 6:00. Your prelims start at 8, and your main card is going to start at 10 p.m. Saturday, December 7th, UFC 310. So let's get into the card now a little bit. Start with the main card. Start with the main card, baby. Top down.
Top down, all right.
Pantoja, Asakura. We both, admittingly, don't know much about Asakura. Everything I've looked up on the guy, I'll be honest, I don't see how he belongs here. I don't either. I just don't.
And see, here's the thing, and I think I told you this before we got on. Either we are just fucking retarded and don't know shit, but I feel like I watch a lot of martial arts, a lot of different organizations, a lot of fighting, and I didn't even know much about this dude coming in, and he's fighting for a title shot. And there's people online that are like, "Oh, he's this, he's that, he deserves." I'm like, how the fuck do you guys even know who this guy is?
Yeah, so, and here's what I'll say. And listen, I'm open to being wrong. I'll start by that.
Too. Please,
I'm open to being wrong.
Please, maybe I'm watching too much one in UFC and not focusing on Rise and FF,
But here's what I'll say. And I brought this point up to you, and I feel like it doesn't need to go beyond this for me. He won a very controversial split decision against Manel Cape, and then the second time they fought, he lost to him. All right? Manel Cape has been in the UFC. There's a reason why Manel Cape's been in the UFC and Kai Asakura hasn't been, in my opinion.
Unless there's some weird contract regulations that wouldn't allow him to come to the UFC.
Very possible. Very possible.
But I just don't see how he beats Pantoja.
It's not even like he was a dominant champion in Ryzen. He won the belt. He doesn't have 10 defenses. There's nothing on paper, at least, that shows me that he belongs here in the sense that we just give him a title shot in his debut. He's the bigger guy, right? He's the bigger guy. He's bigger than Pantoja. Right? He's taller. He's got a longer reach. But you know who else is bigger and taller and has a longer reach is Brandon Royval.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we saw kind of how that went down for him with Pantoja. So
I feel like the UFC had a plan before this plan, and then because what's his name lost, the other Japanese kid,
Taira.
Yeah, Tatsuri Taira lost. this guy got a title shot, but I think they were setting up for a Japanese #1 contender fight. With
Like they were going to have Kai Asakura versus Tatsuri Taira.
and I think they were going to have them, fight each other. I could be wrong, and then now we're here, but
now we're here.
And that's because Brandon Royval won, and Brandon Royval's already lost. So he they're like, oh, we need to do something new here.
Fresh blood.
It's like, and
inject
Brandon
some
Moreno
fresh blood.
He's already lost. It's like,
well, and maybe that alone is it, right? Like just inject fresh blood. Like they gave Steve Erceg a title shot.
Because if Tatsuri Taira beat Brandon Royval, he'd be fighting for the title right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have made this quick of a turnaround. Right? Like they already had this announced, I'm pretty sure, at that time. Sure? Yeah. They already had this announced because we talked about that when they fought.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. Either way, there is no world in which we live in that I would pick anybody but Pantoja in this fight.
Yeah, me too.
There's no
I'm not picking anybody but Pantoja until he loses.
Yeah. Right. Till somebody shows me how to beat him, right?
Dude, the guy is tough as nails, dude. It's going to be hard to beat him. This guy is going to have to he's going to have to knock him out. He's not going to.
We don't even know
him.
Right. You wouldn't think.
Nah, I wouldn't. Unless this guy's fucking God's gift to the UFC. Like I feel like they're thinking they're about to get some sort of like trade-off like they did with
how'd that work out?
Buddy.
How'd that work out?
You know what I'm saying?
We thought Ben Askren was gonna be great. Listen, they thought Michael Chandler was gonna be great.
Exactly. And Michael Chandler is not even 500 in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, and he's fought the top guys always.
Fought the top guys, yeah.
I give him credit for who he's fought, but again, we've watched this over and over and over again, man. Guys that hold belts in these other organizations, it means nothing, bro.
That's what you need to do. That's the post right there, Murky. If he loses on December 7th, then you do the fading picture into Michael Chandler.
Do Kai Asakura into Michael Chandler?
Fading into Michael Chandler. That's the post, dude.
All right.
Remember or Ben Askren, one of the two.
Yeah, Ben Askren, maybe. Yeah. All right, dude. So we both got Pantoja. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do it because I don't know enough.
I don't know enough about this guy though.
I don't, and I hope. Honestly, I love Pantoja, but to some degree, I hope I'm way wrong.
Like we get some new guy who's in there that's gonna electrify the division.
Yeah. I hope I'm fucking wrong. How sick would that be, right? And maybe that's what they're hoping too. Maybe you give this guy this opportunity and. Stirs it all up.
Sure.
But honestly, the biggest fight on this card,
it's coming,
and I think it's not even close. I honestly don't even think it's close. I think this co-main event is significantly bigger than the main event, whether a title's involved or not.
I agree.
18-0 versus 15-0. Number 3 versus number 7. Shavkhat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado-Garry, #1 contender. I think, honest to God, my opinion, Bilal Muhammad or not, I don't even care. I really believe that these are the two best welterweights on the planet.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's close, dude. I think these are the two best welterweights on the planet. I hate to say it, but I think they both beat Leon. I do. I think they both beat Leon. I think Ian Garry's striking's better than Leon's. I know that's kind of wild to say, but it is. It is, dude. Come on. Let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves here. It is. And then his jiu-jitsu, now that he's just living in Brazil, training in Brazil. Now for this camp, he's been living and training in Thailand.
The odds is showing him as the favorite.
Yeah, Ian Garry -218.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Hey, well,
I find that hard to believe right there.
Well, so Shavkhat, the issue I guess you would have with Shavkhat is he hasn't really fought anybody, right? And neither has Ian Garry. You really haven't fought anybody in the top 5, right? So
No,
but
Shavkhat is a minus 360 favorite against Ian Gary.
okay. All right,
ESPN
keep
got
those
this
up. Keep
off.
those up so we can have accurate odds as we kind of go through this. So Shavkat's a minus 360 favorite. I feel like I'm okay with that.
Pantoja is a minus 265 favorite against Kai Asakura.
Yeah, I feel like that. I totally understand that. I totally understand Shavkat being the favorite. But again, dude, like undefeated versus undefeated.
I think I told you my thoughts. I
Uh-huh.
think Ian Gary shocks the world, dude.
You think Ian Gary gets it done?
I don't know why. I can't even tell you why.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling in my heart, and I don't really like Ian Gary. Like I don't like Ian Gary, but I just had this weird feeling like he's going to find some way to control his distance and use some sort of like just straight striking against Shavkhat. If he does not allow Shavkhat to get close, he will win that fight. I think he points this fight out and wins.
Yeah, I think
just like he did with Michael Venom Page.
Well, Michael Venom Page was way different. That was the opposite, right? He grappled he grappled MVP.
Sure.
He
but
didn't.
I think he's smart enough
MVP.
To realize how to fucking win this
fight. How to beat him.
Shavkhat is definitely is the better, I guess, finisher.
18 finishes.
18 finishes, But Ian Gary will find. I feel like he's just going to find a way to win. I don't know why I'm saying that. I feel like I'm going to be completely wrong, but I just feel like he could win.
Let me tell you this. I almost agree with you. In fact, I don't know why either. I was thinking about this today, and I just have this feeling Ian Gary's going to win, and I was like, why do I think that?
I don't know why I feel that either, dude. I have no idea why. Yeah. The second they announced that fight, I think I said it. I said I think Ian Gary's going to win.
Well, I don't know why I think that. What I think actually happens is, he's been training in Brazil with Charles Oliveira and his team, and his grappling and his jiu-jitsu has gotten, night and day different. He's so much better, all these things. I don't think it's enough I think Shavkat's going to be too much for him.
Yeah.
I think Shavkat's too strong. He's too big. I think Shavkat's going to be too much for him. But again, dude, it's so hard to analyze and predict these types of fights where both guys are undefeated. We've never seen them lose.
Yeah,
so why would how do I see Ian Gary lose? Do I think Ian Gary will tap out?
No.
You don't think Ian Gary gets submitted? You don't think so we've seen Ian Gary get chinned, right? We've seen him get rocked and chinned before, but then he recovers, he made an adjustment, and he ends up winning by TKO. But so, can Shavkhat outstrike him? I don't think so. I think Shavkat's path to victory is going to be through his grappling and out grappling and just wearing on him and
pressuring him against the cage, dude.
Yeah,
cage fighting him the whole time.
Yep. So and it's if he's able to do that, right? Or does Ian Gary maintain the distance like you're saying, and is Ian Gary able to, use leg kicks and use certain things to keep distance?
That was my exact thought, dude, was like a high kick.
I don't, and we've never really even seen Shavkhat hurt.
We haven't.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going Shavkhat here, regardless of what my kind of gut tells me in the situation, just because I can see Ian Gary losing. I have a hard time thinking that Ian Gary, is this a 3-round or a 5-round co-main?
Oh, please be 5 rounds.
Yeah, I hope it's 5 rounds. Either way, I think eventually Shavkat's going to get a hold of him, and if Shavkhat gets a hold of him, I think it's going to be too much.
86% of the money is on Shavkhat Rakhmonov.
Yeah,
I think that is dude, I don't know, man.
I know.
Dude, I don't know.
these are.
I tell you this much. I will say this.
Okay.
As much as people call Ian Gary a bitch and this and that,
Yeah.
which I agree he is a bitch, I do not think for a second that he is scared of Shavkhat Rakhmonov.
No, I agree.
I don't think he is. I think he knows he's good.
I'll tell you this. I respect the holy shit out of Ian Gary
For taking the fight. Dude, 100%.
Are you kidding me, dude? He just went from fighting Joaquin Buckley a week after in Tampa on a fight night to co-main eventing against the scariest guy in the division, maybe the scariest guy in the UFC next to Alex Pereira.
One of them, yeah. 18-0, 18 finishes. That's a scary son of a bitch.
I mean, listen, man. This fight, this is one of the most exciting fights to me of all year. Out of all the matchups, after all the matchups we've seen all year, the last pay-per-view of 2024, UFC 310, I really believe that both of these guys can beat Bilal Muhammad. I think these are the two best welterweights in the division, and we're getting to see them on a co-main event before either one of them's a champion. And I think they end up fighting again because I think whoever wins this becomes champion. And then the next guy's going to end up fighting him again for a belt sometime in the future.
Yeah, because Buckley's fighting who now? Colby Covington?
Yeah. Buckley's going to run through Colby, dude. I really believe
Colby dodged Ian Gary.
Yeah, Colby ducked Ian Gary so hard.
Without a doubt. And he's about to get his ass whipped by Joaquin Buckley.
Good. He deserves it, man. He really deserves it. Especially like Ian Gary's been calling out that fight for a while, a year,
3-4 fights ago,
right? Colby doesn't say shit, keeps his mouth closed, talks shit, says all this stuff, whatever. Doesn't happen. Doesn't accept the fight. Ian Gary takes the fight against Shavkhat, and almost immediately Colby steps in as a replacement against Joaquin Buckley. So you were ready for a fight this entire time.
Yep.
But just not against Ian Gary.
He knew it.
Yeah, he didn't want it, dude. So, listen, regardless, dude, Ian Gary's winning the fans back with this fight, I think.
Yeah.
Like, all the fans that clowned him and talked all the shit and said everything that they said, he's winning them all back right here, dude. Right here in this fight. He goes out.
Loser fights Leon?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see, does Kamaru come back to welterweight? That there's been talk of that, like Kamaru versus Shavkhat, Kamaru versus Bilal.
Oh, yeah. See, now that would be a good fight. Shavkhat versus Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, these guys are 3-7, right? If Gary wins, he jumps right up to number 1. Where does it leave Shavkhat? I don't know. Either way, this is, in my opinion, the two best welterweights in the division, two best welterweights in the world. What a fucking fight. I'm so excited. I feel
like I'm going to get a lot of shit for picking Ian Gary in this one.
I don't know, dude. I can see it, though. I can see it, brother.
Weirdly enough, I could see it.
Yeah, this isn't one of your ridiculous hot takes that I'm just like, dude, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like,
and you know me, dude. I would not pick Ian Gary. Like,
I know, dude. Trust
me. I normally would not pick him, dude. But there's just something about this fight in particular. Like, I feel like the styles are so perfect for Ian Gary. Like, it's perfect.
For me, it's his mindset and it's his attitude leading up to it.
Agreed.
Like, I think he believes, he really, really believes that he's going to win this fight.
I agree.
And, man, does that do some weird shit for people, dude.
It does, dude. It does. And I think Shavkhat thinks he can beat anybody. So I don't think
why wouldn't he?
I don't think he's thinking. I think Ian Gary has the right. Like, if he goes in there with that kind of mindset, and I think Shavkat's already like unbeatable. Like, he knows he's unbeatable. So he's going to have a completely different like mindset going. I think he's going to underestimate Ian Gary, man. I really do.
I do. I can see that. I can definitely see it.
This is a big ass test for him, dude.
This is for both of them. This is each of their biggest fights by far. It's not even close. I'm so excited for it, dude. I'm so excited. And then past that, Cyril Gane returns. We have not seen him since he lost to John Jones. He's been gone just as long as John Jones has, right? So we get to see Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. I think this is a win for Cyril Gane.
Yeah, I do too. I think Cyril Gane wins this one. I think he may honestly win it by grappling.
I don't know about that. I don't think there's an ounce of grappling in Cyril Gane.
I disagree. He had to do it against fucking Francis Ngannou.
That's why he lost that fight, though. Francis Ngannou pulled up that fight with fucking knee sleeves on, dude. As soon as Francis Ngannou walked in there with knee sleeves on, you knew what it was hitting for. And he wrestled him to death, dude.
Yeah, I think Cyril Gane.
I stand corrected. I'll fact check myself. Cyril Gane beat Spivak September 2nd of 2023. So 6 months after he lost to John Jones, he beat Spivak by KO TKO in the second round. But he has not fought. So about 15 months he has not fought. He comes back to fight Alexander Volkov, who is on a 4-fight win streak. He beat Rosenstruck, he beat Rakhmonov, he beat Tuivasa, and he beat Pavlovich.
Pavlovich was a big one.
Yeah, and it almost made you think, like, damn, was Pavlovich really any good at all?
Yeah.
Like, was Pavlovich really good, or were we just like,
or is Volkov like, holy shit, he's here, he's
I don't think so,
of secret drug, and now he's championship caliber. Like, I
don't think so. I mean, so these two have already fought before back in 2021. Gane beat him by unanimous decision. That was a 5-round fight as well. But Volkov, I mean, dude, he lost to Curtis Blades. He got knocked out in the last seconds by Derek Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he lost to Tom Aspinall, who's the champion. But all the guys he should beat, he's beaten, right?
That's
so like
true.
He's beaten the Tyboras, he's beaten Rosenstruck, the Rakhmonovs, the Tuivasas. Pavlovich was a tough test, but he dominated Pavlovich, dude.
He went 3 rounds without getting knocked out, which is very impressive.
Well, and he beat him up, bro. He beat Pavlovich up. I mean, that was a unanimous decision that wasn't close.
And that's why I feel like Gane has got to figure out how to get him to the ground.
Yeah, so
Gane's strong, dude. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and Volkov is so big. I mean, he's 6'7", 80, and their reach. They say their reach is identical. I don't know how much I believe that. I mean, Volkov is 6'7". He's big, but he even has a few pounds on Cyril Gane in the weight just because of how tall he is. They're both strikers too, so we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. My initial reaction is I think Gane gets this done. I think Gane is too good for Volkov. I think Volkov is that top 5 gatekeeper type guy that like beats everybody he should, but isn't quite good enough to beat like the top 3 guys to really challenge for a title.
Guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
I do think Gane. I think Gane gets it done though. I like Cyril Gane in this one.
All right. Bryce Mitchell-Cron Gracie, Nate Landwehr, Doo Ho Choi. Yeah, I don't even really want to spend time on this. Same thing, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith.
I mean, that's a good fight if fucking 7 years ago.
7 years ago, this being a great fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 7 years ago, you're like, who's fighting John Jones next?
Yeah. So let's do this. Movsar Aljo. Because I think that the winner of this fight is very close to fighting for a featherweight title.
Very close, yes.
Yeah.
Not
one win away.
Yeah, one win after this one.
Number 1 contender fight.
Yeah.
Against Diego Lopez.
I think you still have Lopez. You still have Volkanovski.
So I think Volk is first. I think Volk gets the rematch. I do. I think he gets the rematch first against Topuria. And then I don't think they're just give Diego Lopez a title shot. I think Diego Lopez ends up, because I really would like to see Diego Lopez get that fight against Mobzar back.
Yeah.
So I think depending on who wins this, even if it's Aljo, I think Aljo ends up fighting Diego Lopez. I think the winner of this fights Diego Lopez for a number one contender fight, assuming that Topuria beats Volk again, right? Like there's a lot of factors. Like say Volk goes out and beats Topuria, then everything changes, obviously, right? I mean, everything
does change.
Everything gets flipped on its head. So,
could you imagine that?
Yeah, everything fucking changes. But you know what I mean? So Mobzar Evloev 18-0 against Aljamain Sterling, who, you know, is relatively new in the featherweight division, you know, bantamweight champion for a long time. You know, but he came UFC 300. He beat Calvin Kattar at featherweight, dominated Calvin Kattar just with wrestling. It was the worst fight on UFC 300, though.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody agrees. But I mean, he did. He dominated him. It wasn't exactly the most exciting fight, but it wasn't close either. There wasn't a single thing in that fight that Calvin Kattar really did well to try to win him the fight. But Mobzar also is another fucking lay and pray takedown merchant.
Yeah. And that's going to be hard to do against Aljo.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, man, but I'm praying for an Aljo victory. I hate Mobzar, dude.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
There are very few fighters. That I dislike more than Mobzar Evloev. Do you know what Mobzar? Here's an interesting statistic. Mobzar's average fight time is 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes is his average fight time.
He's gone to decision in every single fight he's ever been in the UFC.
Yeah, 61% of his 18 wins come by decision. Right? Like, I just, dude. Now, his grappling numbers are better than Aljo's, you know, statistically.
Yeah, but that may not work against Aljo, though.
Right. He's fought guys. Right. Yeah. Listen, I very much hope that Aljo is able to go out there and get this done. I can't stand Mobzar. He would be terrible for this division. Terrible. But I don't think he ever becomes champion because there's not a world in which I think he beats Topuria. I don't. There's
that's
no
not a
chance.
world that I could see a lot of none of the motherfuckers beating Topuria, dude.
Yeah. So I got
Aljo.
Yeah, we got to go Aljo for the one time for the boys.
Let's look at the odds.
Yeah, what do you got? I'm assuming Mobzar is going to be the favorite in this fight. But dude.
Yeah,
he's
minus 265 favorite.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be bigger than Aljo, but I can't stand him, dude. There's no way we want. They're the same height. He is kind of a smaller featherweight, Mobzar. I think Aljo's striking's better. I think his wrestling is good enough. There's no way in which I pick Mobzar. Fuck him. I hope Aljo, takes his 0 away, gives him his first loss, and Mobzar can just fade off into,
nobody cares.
Nobody cares land. Yes, dude. Please get him out of here.
Yeah, dude.
And then, the other interesting fights we kind of highlighted in the very beginning of the episode when we were going over the bout order, Randy Brown, Brian Battle. I mean, I think Brian Battle gets it done personally. Just what I've seen, from him.
It's going to be a good fight. This might be fight of the night.
Yeah, right. So early fight of the night picks. I mean, Shavkhat Rakhmonov, I think, has potential. But outside of like your big Pantoja, Asakura could be incredible. Shavkhat Rakhmonov, I really think Randy Brown, Brian Battle is going to be like, that's going to be one that all the fans want to see, right? Like that is the exact type of fight that people love to watch. And I just think Brian Battle's tougher. That's just how I feel. I just think he's going to out tough him.
I can't believe he's got more. Neither one of those guys are ranked, dude. That's mind blowing to me.
Welterweight, sneaky stacked.
Yeah, but dude, there's got to be a welterweight in at 15 that. Yeah, Vicente Luque,
correct,
is 14, dude.
Right. Is still ranked. Right.
He would lose to Randy Brown and fucking Brian Battle right now. 1,000%.
Yeah, I agree. So early fight of the night prediction. Maybe give that early fight of the night prediction to Randy Brown, Brian Battle. And then beyond that on this card, I mean, you have some dude. The Clay Guida Chase Hooper fight, I think, is fucking awesome. Chase Hooper looked so good in his last, on the feet in his last outing that I think like he's gotten so much fucking better, and he's still so young.
I'm taking Chase Hooper by first round submission.
Chase Hooper by first round sub. Yeah, yep. I mean his grappling is still elite.
Yeah,
right.
He's good.
Like his jiu-jitsu is still so good. Clay Guida's so old, dude. He's tough. He's tough as nails.
It's got to be his retirement fight, right?
I mean, yeah, you would think.
I mean, dude, how much more can
he's
he
on
go?
a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
Right?
One more.
Yeah, one more. 0-3 his last 3.
I think passing of the torch.
Yeah, I like it. Man. I think Chase Hooper, this is another opportunity for Chase Hooper to show people just how much better he's getting, how good he can be. But yeah, man, I like that fight a lot. Then even like I said earlier, Michael Chiesa, obviously just beat Tony Ferguson, lost to Kevin Holland, lost to Sean Brady, but Michael Chiesa still a scrapper. Against another veteran in Max Griffin.
Beat Jeremiah Wells.
Yeah, beat Jeremiah Wells, lost to Morales. Both of these guys, I think both of these guys are kind of in the same boat, right? Like been around for a minute. Kind of 50-50 record in the UFC, but both coming off wins.
Yeah.
Right? Both coming off wins, really even odds, I would imagine, on this fight.
Yep.
Same thing. Cody Durden, Josh Van. I love Josh Van, dude.
Yeah, I like Josh Van. I got to root for Cody Durden now.
Yeah, he's a Georgia boy, right?
Georgia boy, son.
Yeah, so I get that. Joshua Van, he ended up winning his last fight against Charez.
Which was a great fight. That was at Noche, right?
That was at Noche.
Yeah, that was a brawl, remember?
Yeah.
But see, the thing is dude, he was a heavy favorite against Charez, dude, and Charez was piecing his ass up. He came out there with the heart of fucking El Chapo and shit.
He did.
Was ready to kick some
Charez
ass, dude.
is a beast, dude.
Love
dude
that guy. Savage. I fuck with him.
But so, I mean, again, like another really interesting fight. You know what I mean? Like I like these prelims. These prelims and even the early prelims, like this is on the early prelims. These fights, all of them, are really good matchmaking by the UFC, I think.
Yeah, and they're all better than Bryce Mitchell, Conor Gracie. Dude.
Facts.
I don't even care. Like, that fight could literally not be on the card, and I wouldn't even blink an eye.
Yeah, it's a weird one, right? Like, it's such a weird fight, dude. But it's such a weird fight. Both coming off losses. I mean, especially Bryce Mitchell's really known to be a grappler. So you give him fucking Kron Gracie, who only knows how to do jiu-jitsu.
Which is
Like,
crazy though. Like his takedown, he doesn't even average one takedown every 15 minutes.
who's that?
Cron Gracie.
Yeah, because he's not
He
doing
just fucking
takedowns.
pulls guard.
Pulls guard. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, is Bryce Mitchell gonna engage in that? I don't know.
Dude, Bryce
How
Mitchell, isn't he
confident-
a fucking high level jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
fighter?
Yeah. Bryce Mitchell's a legit. Yeah. Bryce Mitchell's jiu-jitsu is legit. I mean, he did get subbed out by Topuria, but whatever.
Yeah, well.
He got dog walked first.
Yeah, and see, Bryce Mitchell averages 1.5 submission every
Attempts.
per 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And 3.5 takedowns per
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cron Gracie sucks, dude. Maybe they're just giving this fight
Loser
to finish
gets cut.
out. Yeah, loser gets cut. I mean, Bryce Mitchell's still ranked, dude.
Yeah, but if he loses to Cron Gracie, my God.
If he loses to Cron Gracie, yes. I mean, he beat Dan Ige, lost to Topuria, beat Dan Ige, beat Edson Barbosa, beat Andre Feely. Like, dude, Bryce Mitchell,
He had big wins
Yeah.
up until the Topuria fight, dude.
Yeah, he lost to Topuria, then he beat Dan Ige, then he got knocked the fuck out and killed by Josh Emmett.
That's another thing. Didn't they say that when there talks about possibly Josh Emmett versus Diego Lopez?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a possibility. That'd be
I thought
wild.
I thought I saw that.
That would be a wild fight.
Because Josh Emmett is coming. I mean, it's coming off of what, back-to-back wins? Didn't he beat Arnold Allen and then he beat Bryce Mitchell, right? Or he beat Bryce Mitchell, then Arnold Allen or something like that?
So, no. He never fought Arnold Allen. So, he beat Bryce Mitchell. Before that was his loss to Topuria.
Oh, that's right.
Before that was his loss to
Yair
Rodriguez.
Idol.
Right. He beat Calvin Kattar. He beat Dan Ige.
Yeah, before that, he wasn't losing. He was on fire.
Yeah. Yep. So, he lost to Jeremy Stevens back in 2018, but oof. That's a tough loss.
Yeah, I know, right? But he's 19-4 though. I mean,
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why he was top 5 guy. That's why he fought Yair for an interim title, right?
Yeah.
When Volk was trying to get that lightweight, that champ status, they fought for that interim.
I think that knockout to Emmett really put him on, or that knockout to Mitchell really put him back in the scene. Like, all right, yeah, this motherfucker.
He's dangerous, dude.
It's dangerous, dude.
He's so dangerous.
And that's a scary fight for Diego Lopez because Diego Lopez puts his fucking chin out there.
He does.
Like, he gets in there and throws bows, dude. And I would not want to get a fucking right from Josh Emmett, dude.
Well, that was a lot of the, I guess, kind of my arguments with people when, we were talking about like Topuria not being able to finish Emmett.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, he stood in the pocket with that motherfucker and was throwing hands and didn't get knocked out himself. Like, he dominated him. He didn't get the finish. He dominated
beat the shit
him.
out of Josh Emmett, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and,
But he didn't knock Josh Emmett out either.
No.
That's crazy.
I know. Right.
Yeah.
He knocked out everybody else. He's knocked out Holloway, which nobody thought he would. So, I don't know, man. So, anyway, I mean, Josh Emmett, we don't know anything for him right now. But yeah, Bryce Mitchell, Cron Gracie, dude, I don't know. I assume this is a good rebound win fight for Bryce Mitchell. That's really what I think.
Yeah, it's possibly like a layup.
Mm-hmm. I think Cron Gracie's terrible. I think
Bryce Mitchell's striking's not bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Like, it's not good, but it's not bad. Yeah.
But we don't know how he's
Nate Landwehr, Duho Choi. I do think, like, nobody cares, but Nate the Train always has some entertaining fights, right? He always has some entertaining fights.
See, I don't get behind people like that, dude. I fucking hate these weird UFC fans that love these fucking weird fighters that are like, oh, they're so funny and they're so entertaining. Like, man, get the fuck out of here.
He doesn't make him good.
No, yeah, it doesn't make him good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he fucking strikes and gets in there and gets his, like, beat up a bit and beats people up a bit. Yeah, fun. But, like,
right.
I don't know. Like, there's so many weird UFC fans that like those weird fighters. and they get all this like credit and hype. They're like spinning back fist just hypes these guys up because they think they're fucking cool. Like,
Right.
no, who cares, dude?
Yeah. I agree. This fight is there's no way in the world this fight should be on the main card. This is a early prelim fight at best, especially with these prelims. Like, I mean, honestly, like, you could throw Clay Guida, Chase Hooper up onto the prelims, throw, Nate Landwehr down to the early prelims, throw Mavzar and Aljo on the main card. You could put Brandy Brown, Brian Battle on the main card. I think it's appropriate Bryce Mitchell, Kron Gracie, but you put them on the prelims as well.
Early.
Like, there definitely needs a little bit of shuffling going on this one.
I honestly, this now that the more we talk about this card, the more it's pissing me off, and I don't even want to fucking talk about it anymore. To be honest. Like, the more we talk about this card, the more I'm getting pissed off that those two fucking fights are in the main card. Like, we're about to pay fucking $80 for the first two fights to be those two fucking dipshits, and that's what I got to watch for my first two fights, dude.
I know.
I feel like you might as well have thrown women in there, dude.
There is not a single woman's fight on this card. The last pay-per-view of the year, not a single women's MMA fight. So you're obviously not going to be gambling. You'll have nobody to bet on.
Yeah, no, I don't have many women to bet on, dude.
No women to bet on. So
you mean to tell me that if they did like, let me think of a fight, dude, that would be an equivalent to that.
Equivalent to what? A women's
Bryce
fight?
Mitchell, Kron Gracie, yeah.
A women's fight that would be the equivalent to that. Maybe like a Jasmine Judavicius because she's kind of falling down a peg.
Yeah, what if they did
versus I don't even know, like some unranked chick in her division.
What if they did Lupi Godinez versus Angela Hill? I'd rather see that. Or if they did Jasmine Judavicius versus Casey O'Neill, I'd rather watch that.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I'd definitely rather watch that for totally other reasons, but I would definitely rather watch. Yeah. But I think, aren't they going back to Sydney next year, beginning of next year? Yeah. So you'll probably get Casey O'Neill there since she's Australian or lives in New Zealand or Australia or something. But anyway, dude, I think that's it. I think that's it for us. UFC 310, Pantoja versus Asakura, Saturday, December 7th, co-main event by arguably one of the biggest fights of the year. Shavkhat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado-Garry. I'm going to flip-flop back and forth how I feel about that fight 17 different times before the fight happens, I'm sure.
Yeah. Can we just take 3 minutes to say one thing before we get off?
Yes. I don't know about 3 minutes, but yeah.
All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, we're going to end it at this. 2 minutes. I'm sick of all the bullshit. John Jones is the greatest UFC fighter, mixed martial artist, any division, any branch, any organization. Doesn't fucking matter. John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time.
Agreed.
I will end the episode on that because I'm sick of all these motherfuckers. Dude, fuck who he beat. Doesn't matter.
He beat everybody. What do you mean? He's never lost.
I'm talking about Stipe. Like, fuck him beating Stipe. Like, I'm sick of it, dude. I'm sick of it.
I agree.
He can literally stop.
Who wins, him or Tom? A lot harder now, isn't it?
John.
You think John beats him?
I think there's no one out there in the world that you could bet against him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is the equivalent to Tom Brady of MMA. Like, even Tom Brady
lost in a Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes, but he also got one back.
Well, he lost to fucking Eli Manning. He beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Eli.
You know? Yeah. So,
but
I mean, but even at 40 years old, Brady was winning Super Bowls. It's the same thing.
Dude.
Like,
37.
you could
John
never
Jones beating defending his heavyweight title.
Yeah, you can't bet against him. Is the point for sure? You can't bet against him.
Obviously, Tom is the younger, the fresher, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I posted. We had posted up some little clips and shorts or whatever up onto YouTube, and there was definitely some people hopping in them comments quick hopping in the comments, talking mad shit on John Jones.
You see that one guy hasn't responded yet because I shut his shit up. He was like talking shit about fucking Cyril Gahn was coming off of a loss. Da, 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 da. I was like, no, he wasn't, dude.
Right. These people they don't actually know what they're talking about. They just hate to hate.
Stupid.
They are. Everybody's stupid, dude. John Jones is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, dude. I'm sick of it, dude. I'm sick of it. But anyways, that's all I had. I needed to get that off my chest, dog. I'm tired of
this card. Anybody still listening, this card you are not going to want to miss at all. Make sure you tune in Saturday, December 7th, UFC 310. That's it, baby. Keep it hot. See you on the next one. Peace.
Let's go.